Hi Divya, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, the excitement and energy at Build has been fantastic.
Likewise, I get just super energized looking at all the developers here. This is the best time of my year.
I know. Well, I'm super excited to dive into everything Windows Copilot Runtime with you. But before we do, I'd love to hear more about yourself, your background. I know you started your career out as a developer and then grew into product marketing. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I started out as a developer, as you rightly said. I did that for about 6 or 7 years, and then I wanted to switch over to something more dynamic to understand what exactly are the developer problems and work on those problems. So I switched over to product marketing management. Now, in my current role at Microsoft, I work as a group product marketing manager for Windows developer platforms. So I get to work with developers day in and day out, understand their pain points, problems, and go back to my engineering team and develop products that addresses their issues.
That's amazing. You have like the best of both worlds, I feel like that. Get to connect with developers, but then also help build products for them.
Yeah.
Speaking about building products for developers, can you tell me a little bit about Windows Copilot Runtime? What exactly is it?
Yeah, so Windows Copilot Runtime is something Pawan announced as part of the build announcements 2 days ago. I think of Windows Copilot Runtime as one place developers can go to regardless of where they are in their AI development journey, because we know some developers probably are just getting started, or some developers already have built their own custom models. Regardless of where they are, Windows Copilot Runtime helps them build solutions, scale those solutions, and also accelerate their development journey. This has a bunch of ready-to-use AI APIs that they can simply call in a framework that they're already familiar with through Windows App SDK, or they can even bring their own models into the Windows ecosystem. We have a bunch of AI frameworks and tool chains which will help them take their investments across the breadth of the Windows ecosystem. So I think of Windows Copilot Runtime as everything developer needs to build incredible AI experiences, and it flexes to the needs of the developers.
I love that. And I love how you said, developers can really come as they are, whether they have years of experience building AI or they're just starting out. It can benefit really anyone throughout their journey.
Totally, yes.
Okay, next question that I have for you is, how did you and your team gather insights to end up building Windows Copilot Runtime?
Yeah, so as part of my day job, I get this incredible opportunity to work with developers, understand their pain points, and kind of go back and address those issues. So through these conversations, something we came to learn was developers are definitely excited about AI, there's no doubt about it. But the biggest challenge is so many of them struggle on where or how to get started with AI development. That's one of the big things. Second is some of them do get started with building great solutions, but they often get stuck. Because they don't know how to scale across the breadth of the Windows ecosystem. As much as we're proud of our ecosystem, it brings in a lot of complexities for developers, so some of them do struggle to scale. And we also came to realize through these conversations that developers need a lot more than a powerful NPU or a model to build incredible AI experiences. And I think we took all of these insights together and we ended up reimagining this entire system, and that system is what we call Windows Copilot Runtime. It has APIs. If you simply want to bring those solutions into your apps with a simple settings change toggle, or if you want to even make an API call, bring them into your apps, we have those too. If you want to take it a step further, it's like you want to bring your own models into the Windows ecosystem, we have that too. So it's like giving developers what they need where they are was the vision for us when we started Windows Copilot Runtime.
I love it, and I think you absolutely nailed it, so I'm very excited.
Thank you.
So that brings up the question then, what does Windows Copilot Runtime comprise of?
So you can think of Windows Copilot Runtime as two important layers. First is obviously amazing experiences that we build at Microsoft. We showed a bunch across Build today, or across the 2 days of Build actually. Recall, Studio Effects, live captions, translations. These are all the experiences that's enabled by the Copilot Runtime. And also some of the third-party experiences that are amazing developers build. All of these experiences are backed by the most important layer of Windows Copilot Runtime, which we call as the Windows Copilot Library. This has a set of APIs that are powered by the 40 plus models that ship with Windows. And then you have the third layer that we call as the AI frameworks and tool chains. this layer has all the tools to help developers bring their own models into the Windows ecosystem and scale. So it's like those two layers are the most prominent and critical layers of Windows Copilot Runtime. And you will see that Windows Copilot Runtime obviously sits on the fundamental foundation of the critical client platform, which is like the silicon and the silicon, like NPUs and GPUs. So all of these together give that robust platform for the Windows Copilot Runtime.
Great, this is all so exciting. How do I get started with this, or anyone who is watching this who wants to start building?
Yeah, so developers can go to aka.ms Windows Copilot Runtime. We have lots of information about all of these APIs and all the models and stuff. There are two ways that developers can basically leverage Windows Copilot Runtime. One is very high level APIs, like we have studio effects, live captions, translations. These require a simple change in the settings toggle. So literally no effort or low code effort for developers. They can immediately bring these audio effects, video effects, and studio effects into their applications. But if developers want to take it an up notch, they can also call in some APIs. All of the information is also available on the Windows Copilot Runtime website that I cited. The best way for developers to access these is also through Windows App SDK, which will be available. These will be shipped as part of Windows App SDK in June.
Yes.
So developers can get their hands on these and experiment. And we love feedback, so we'd love to get feedback from developers on how we can improve these.
How can developers bring their own models to Windows?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, we definitely love developers and we want developers to bring their own models to Windows. Though we are offering rich set of functionalities as part of Windows Copilot Runtime, we understand every developer is unique. They have their own use cases and needs. So we welcome developers bringing their own models. But we also realize Windows has a breadth and a diverse hardware ecosystem. So optimizing the AI investments to each underlying hardware can be super challenging for developers. And luckily, we've solved that problem with DirectML. DirectML is a low-level, high-performant machine learning API on Windows. So if developers just target DirectML, they will be able to take their investments across the breadth of the Windows ecosystem. So essentially, with DirectML, developers have to build only once and scale across the breadth of the Windows hardware ecosystem. So that's one way I would say how they can bring their models.
Oh, that's very exciting. Speaking of exciting announcements, it was recently announced that PyTorch is now available natively. Can you speak more to that?
Yeah, that builds off of the DirectML actually. So DirectML supports popular frameworks like Onyx Runtime, and now it also supports PyTorch. What this means is developers just can go to Hugging Face, pick up their favorite model, and that just works on Windows. So thousands of Hugging Face models will seamlessly work. What this means is developers don't have to any longer convert their model from Onyx Runtime or convert their model from PyTorch to Onyx Runtime to make it run. And this just works.
Very exciting. All right, last question I have for you.
Yes.
Is DirectML then limited to native Windows apps?
Absolutely not. That was part of one of our announcements this year was DirectML is no longer limited to just native Windows apps. We know that many developers will also want to bring their own AI experiences and leverage the underlying hardware to do so that they can avoid the round trip to the cloud. And that is exactly what WebNN enables. So WebNN is Web Neural Network. It works in conjunction with or is supported by ORT Web, which sits on top of DirectML. So through these, even web developers can take advantage of the underlying silicon, either the NPUs or the GPUs, to deliver their AI experiences within the web apps. So this uses the underlying silicon in the user's machine, and without having to run a lot of these experiences on the cloud, developers can seamlessly deliver AI experiences locally.
Oh, I am beyond excited to get building. Divya, thank you so much for filling us in.
Thank you for having me here.